So anyway, even though the Wicked Witch of the West loves to do it, because I'm a convenient scapegoat, it is ridiculous for anybody to blame me for my mother's breakdowns, okay? Oh, sure, when she's driving me nuts and I can't handle it, I don't help the situation. I'm sure I add to the stress, but I'm surely not causing her breakdowns. And in this particular instance, like I said, it's like she couldn't deal with getting a cold, a simple cold. She's not an invalid. She's not dying. She suddenly wants me to do everything for her, wash her hair even. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you act like you're only in your 60s. You're not going to be like you're 90 or something. You can wash your own hair. And then she exhausts herself to the point where she's exhausted, hasn't slept for days, only slept less than 4 hours a night, and wouldn't let me sleep. Okay, Mom, if you want to stay up, that's fine. I got West Side Story from the library, okay? She really wanted that. If you want to stay up, fine. You watch West Side Story. I need to go to bed, okay? I have to get up with Omar at 5. It's 11. You think she'll let me go to bed? No. She starts complaining about Angel scratching her when it's like she got this cold and suddenly turned into a royal bitch. Even if Angel, she's upset about Omar, she's upset about Angel waking her, and she just couldn't deal with anything. It was the craziest thing. It was like she got a cold and it's just a cold, But that's what happened. That's what happened. And it went downhill from there. Calling everybody all up. Wouldn't let me sleep. So, of course, I'm not getting any sleep. But remember, in her delusions, she'll, she did something to the cable, the cable TV, okay? She had already let me know she was upset about Monique, the friend that unfortunately, showed up and was trying to get her, not asking her for money, but just asking her my mom wants her to leave her alone. But then she's all conflicted about church stuff and she's just conflicted about everything, okay? And she got this cold, and then it was like unbelievably how she was behaving. She just changed. She started behaving so badly. And to her, she wanted to invite this friend over to help fix the TV, because you might, if it's something that was not the cable's fault or whatever, then you would have to pay or something. And I'm like, what do you want to invite her over for? You say you don't like her, and she, don't tell me who my friends, she gets sick, but then she'll call her church friend or what and say that I'm telling her when to go to bed and who to have as friends. No. I know this friend upset you. Why are you going to invite the friend over? Okay? You want to have her over? Whatever. Whatever, Mom. As long as I'm not here at the time. But, I'm going to advise my mom against it. But to her, I'm telling her who to have as friends. I tell her, she needs to go to bed because she's gotten less than 4 hours of sleep every night. She's forcing herself to stay awake with coffee. Can't even figure out her coffee maker that she knows how to use, or plug in her cell phone or anything. And that's not because she's losing her mind. It's because she's forcing herself to stay awake and her body's shutting down. It just wants to sleep. Okay? But that equates in her mind, especially when she's getting sick again, to her telling her friends. It's like she did last February. She's telling me when to go to bed. She's telling me who can I have as friends over there. My friends, yeah, they're awful. And even your beloved sister who died last summer felt the same way, Mom. They're not good friends. They're users. They're whatever. But I'm not telling you, I'm not telling you who to have as friends. Okay? Do whatever the fuck you want. It was horrible. And in the end, thankfully, it didn't have to be me, like having the cops here or whatnot. I could have. She was talking to Crisis, and they asked me, I wouldn't do that to my mom, though. Well, they based on talking to her. Oh, and she'll lie to her friends who talks to her on the phone, but she admitted to Crisis she's feeling overwhelmed and blah, 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 whatever, okay? I could have had cops here. This was the same day that, you know, finally, you know, Crisis talked to me, Crisis talked to her, they talked to me again. Do you want us to, we'll have her sectioned, they can come right now. I said, no, don't do that. You know, don't do that to her. Just wait till tomorrow. She'll be fine. She'll keep me up all night ranting and raving, but she's not. Well, is she a danger to herself? No. She'll just don't. I don't want to do that to her. And this was the day that she went off on her neighbor, and the neighbor called the cops on her, and she went off on another neighbor, and she called that neighbor a bitch because she wouldn't drive her down here. Remember, when she's sick, she also wants you to do everything for her. She thinks everyone should do everything for her. This neighbor, and then the neighbor, I'm walking over, and the neighbor goes up at me. You tell your mother. I'm like, what do you want from me? She called me a bit. Yeah, she's not well. What do you want? Well, she needs help then. Oh, just leave me alone. No shit, she needs help. You know, this was not my fault. You know. And you want to go study the thing. I'm not going to get into flu shots and all that crap with mercury. I'm just saying that all this psych meds and all that stuff, you know, all these heavy metals, they do build up in your system, and you don't have to believe it. I really don't fucking care, okay? My mom thought she went and got a flu shot. She thought she could get a flu shot and cure her cold. No, that flu shot is not going to cure your current cold. Your current cold is your current cold. It has to, you know, go through its course. It has to, you know, but, so that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. So yet again, but it's not my fucking fault. When she gets sick, she just becomes, and it's happened slowly, but she becomes so unreasonable. And she calls up people at all hours of the night, you're just going on, blah, 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 you know, but she also keeps me awake. So if I'm not getting any sleep, and she's getting on my case about everything, expecting me to do every little thing for her, because she's forcing herself to stay awake with coffee, when her body just wants to sleep, of course I'm going to beg her. Please, Mom, just go. Don't tell me what to do. Please, Mom, go to sleep so I can go to sleep. Please. I'm not getting any sleep for days just because well, I can't sleep. This cold. The coffee helps me. Yeah. The coffee helps you because it soothes your throat. But it keeps you awake and your body wants to sleep and then you can't function, Mom. It's a vicious cycle, okay? So she didn't break down from not taking her meds. She's been taking her meds. I watch her take her fucking meds. Okay? Remember, I was here. I planned to stay because why should I go back to the shelter, you know, when I'm going to be moving in with this woman, you know, for good. So I didn't go back to the shelter. And I was there from over a week. She took her meds. She's taking her meds. It's just stress, and then she got the damn cold, and it's, you know, I don't know. I just know when she's like that, I do the best I can. It's not my fucking fault. She tries to tell people that it's my fault and blame me because she always wants to blame me. I'm a convenient scapegoat. When my mom's sick, I'm a convenient scapegoat, and then the Wicked Witch of the West, of course, wants to blame me because I'm a convenient scapegoat. But I am not the cause of my mother's illness. My mother has been it's just gotten progressively worse now that she's older, you know. She used to only periodically go in for a couple weeks and get out, and you know, and now it's just getting worse and worse. And I wouldn't be telling you any of this, but because of my mom's psychologist screw up, Wicked Witch of the West found out what she was never supposed to find out. So, what does it matter? I don't care. I said I don't fucking care. You know? I'm a rebel. I speak the truth. And you have to ruffle feathers when you speak the truth, you know? No man is island. I don't live in a bubble. And I have every right in the universe to discuss things online that happen to me. Millions of people do it. People don't go online and they would have nothing to say if they only talked about stuff that didn't involve other people. Okay? My life is all caught up in my, I guess I'm assuming, since she hears voices in the past, whatnot, my paranoid schizophrenic mother who, you know, for a long time was able to keep it under control and whatnot, and then, you know, but like anything, she gets older and the stuff, and she's on stronger meds, the old less meds stop working, or in there, whatever, I don't know, she gets older, and then it's all built up in her system for all these fucking years since I was 10, okay? 10 or 11, and she was in her early 30s. And incidentally, just like Marilyn's mom. I'm reading that new book I told you about. And apparently Marilyn's mom had her first real psychotic break. She'd always shown signs of being off. They use that word off in quotations, but she had her first psychotic break when she was 32. Okay, it's not my fault. People want to blame me. It's not my fault. It's ridiculous. Only an idiot can look and just, they don't see outside of the box. It's like, oh, well, Laura comes to visit and Samantha breaks down again. No. That's not what happens. It's just, you can, if you don't examine it closely, but it's not what happened. I'm just tired of all of it. I love my mother so fucking much, but I'm just tired of all of this. It just never fucking ends. And I never have the opportunity to achieve in my life any kind of peace or stability, because this with my mother never fucking ends. And I can't just take off. I cannot. I mean, Joe will suggest that because he's not an animal lover. To him, you know, even before when I was dealing with Joe, with Donald and Hope and whatnot, and Joe had invited me to come stay with him, but I can't have Omar. You know, this dog is my responsibility, and I'm not going to abandon him. But just like if I had a kid, it hinders me. I could do anything I wanted if I didn't have this dog. I could do anything I wanted, people. Think about it. I have my Social Security disability check. You know what I mean? I have not a lot of money in the bank, but not like just like $100 or $10 or even $1,000, okay? I have a little, I could do what I wanted. And I can't because of this dog. I may as well have a kid. In fact, to be really sarcastic, I'd have a easier time finding a new place to live if I had a kid than if I had this non-housebroken 8-year-old pug, or almost 8-year-old pug. If that's not irony, I don't know what is. Do you believe that? I know it. I'd have an easier time if I simply had a kid. And people who contact me about rooms available who have kids, I'm not interested. I don't want to live with a kid. It really sucks you're not housebroken. It really fucking sucks. I mean, not that I could do anything I wanted, but I'd be a hell of a lot less restricted if I didn't have this dog to protect. But you see, and then my mom and I will talk, you know, because there's always high hope she's going to be fine, you know, and not have any more breakdowns. And then, well, she can care for Omar. I can go, like I was supposed to go live with that woman. But while I was living with that woman who was so fucking cool, but now she's disgusted with me, you know, Is people just don't want to, you know, sorry that's happening to you, I'm never going to offer you the room again. I don't blame you. But she was going to let me move in there, and I'm sure she was counting on the $600 because since it was a done deal, and I canceled at the very day she was coming to get me in my suitcases, you know. Like I said, all my stuff's in storage, but you know, I had a little bit of stuff here because I went to LA, and then I had all my clothes that I needed. I went straight back to the shelter and didn't wash my clothes, so I had to bring all my clothes back here and whatnot. But you know what I mean? It just sucks. But this woman was going to be so cool that while I was there,